Miss Nicebell, what are you doing here?
I'm here to help you find the surface area and volume of a prism. But isn't that what school is for? Hush now. Remember, this video is due tomorrow. Come along now. Let us do some math. I can show you some math. Formulas, pi, and suffering.
Perfect. Now we have the numbers, so let's solve the surface area of this rectangular prism. So, finding the surface area for a rectangular prism, you'll need this formula. 2 times width times length plus length times height plus width times height. And all you need to do is plug in your numbers. So our width is going to be 4, as you can see right over there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can slightly see it. So, you plug in your numbers. 2 times 4 times 11 plus 11 times 14 and 4 times 14. Then you need to bring out your calculator. So I just need to search one up. Okay, so now we have our calculator. Now, we need to do first is solve what's in the brackets. It'll be easier that way. So 4 times 11 is 44. Make sure to write all of this down. Okay, there. So 44 plus 11 times 14 is 154. Not 2, 4. 154. Oh, and that's not the right one. It's 4 times 14. There we go. It's 56. 154. So when you add them all together, 2 times 44 plus 154 plus 56 equals to 254. 200, and now it's 2 times 254. And then you get 508 yards squared. And that's how you solve surface area for a rectangular prism. Now let's solve volume for a rectangular prism. The formula is length times width times height. Easier than the last one. So, all you have to do is plug in the numbers. 4 will be our width, 14 will be our height, and 11 will be our length. So, let's just get rid of the box here. So, we'll just plug in the numbers. 11 times 4 times 14. Then we'll just put it into our calculator. 11 times 4 times 14 equals 116. 616. So, 616 yards cubed is the volume. Now let's watch the shape change. Hang on. Where's the number for this line? How will we be able to find the rectangle's area if we don't have its height? Guess we're gonna have to solve it ourselves. See this shape? Look familiar? So, let's move on to the formula of a triangular prism for surface area. So, it doesn't really have a formula. You just have to find the areas of all the shapes and add them all up. So, the area of the triangle times 2. Yeah, just like that. Plus all the rectangles area, which is rectangle 1 plus rectangle 2 plus rectangle 3. So that's technically it. But we have a problem. How will we find the height of the rectangles? So, since this shape looks familiar, we're going to be using Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a can be either 4 or half of 3. So, yeah. And then c will be our hypotenuse. So let's do it. 4 squared plus, we're gonna use half of the triangle. Half of the triangle's base because it's only half of the triangle. Good explaining there. So we're gonna divide it by 2. And 3 divided by 2 is, well, let's just check our calculator, is 1.5. 1.5 squared equals c squared. So, when you square a number, you're timesing that number by itself. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1.5 squared, which is 1.5 times 1.5. 5 there is 2.25 equals c squared. Now you just have to add those two together. 2.25 plus 16, you get 18.25 equals c squared. But the c is still stuck with this 2, so you'll need to isolate the variable by doing opposite operation. And the opposite of squaring a number is square rooting a number. So we're just going to square root 18.25 equals all of these numbers. You can round the number up to the nearest tenth, but or leave it, but I'm rounding my number up. Now we have the height of this rectangle. So now we can finally solve the surface area of the rectangle. So, surface area will equal to 2 times the area of the triangle. And how you find the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So all we have to do is plug in our numbers. 4 times 3 divided by 2. 4 times 3 divided by 2 will equals to 6. Then we're going to add our rectangle, and I'm multiplying the area of those two rectangles because they're the same shape. Yeah, over here it's also the same. So it'll be 4.3. Where is it? Here. 4.3 times 10 equals 43. There we go. But for the bottom triangle, it's not the same as the rest of the rectangles. So 3 is going to be its length now. So 3 times 10 is 30. Now we'll just have to add those up. 12 times plus 86 plus 30 equals 128. And there you go. You have surface area. Now let's move on to volume of a rectangular prism. So, volume for a rectangular prism is base times height divided by 2 times height. So our height can also, it's not actually the height of the triangle. Some height in math actually has a different meaning, which is the line that connects the two shapes that makes the prism recognizable. So for a triangular prism, it's the line that connects the two triangles. I'm hoping that makes sense. Now let's continue. We just plug in the numbers. So it'll be 3 times 4 divided by 2 times 10. Remember, it's not the height of the triangle. It's not. Let us continue. Just gotta get rid of this. So, when you do 3 times 4 divided by 2 is 6 times 10 is 60. And you have your volume for your rectangular triangular prism. On to our final shape. Now, for solving surface area for a cylinder, we're gonna need pi. No, not this pi. I'm talking about this pi. Yeah, mathematical pi. So, the formula for surface area for a cylinder is 2 times pi r squared. Pi r h times height plus 2 times pi times r squared. All we have to do now is plug in the numbers again. So our radius, which is r, will be 6, and our height, which is 11, will be h. So 2 times 3.14, we're just going to use the short version of pi, times 6, which is the radius, times 11, which is the height, plus 2 times 3.14 times radius, which is 6, which is squared. And 6 squared is 36. Now let's continue. Let's solve all of those. So 2 times 3.14 times 6, which is our radius, times 11, which is our height, and here we go. We have our first number, which is 414.48. There we go. Now let's solve over here, which will be 2 times 3.14 times 6 squared times 6 squared, which is 36. And our answer is 226.0.08. And all you have to do now is add all of those numbers up. 414.48 plus 226.08, and it shows 640.56 inches cubed. Whew. We're not even done yet. We'll still need to be using pi to solve the volume for a cylinder. So the formula for a volume is 2 times pi r squared times height. So our radius is 6, which is going to be our r, and our 11, which is height, is going to be our h. So yeah, so let's just plug in the numbers. 2 times 3.14 times 6 squared times height, which is 11. And then 2, 3.14, and 6 squared, which is 36, times 11. And then all we have to do now is punch that into our calculator. So we're going to solve the first equation. So 2 times 3.14 times 36 equals 226.08 times 11, and then times 11, and we have this really big number, 2,486.88 is our volume. What a big number. So, thanks, Mrs. Nicebell, for the, lesson, but how are we gonna get out of here? Oh, we're just gonna, eat our way out. Eat our way out? Yeah. What kind of pie is it? Blueberry? Huh. Okay.
If I had $1,000,000, I'd build a tree fort in our yard. If I had $1,000,000, you could help, it wouldn't be that hard. If I had $1,000,000, maybe we could put a little tiny fridge in there somewhere.
We could just go up there and hang out.
Like open the fridge and stuff, and there would be food laid out for us, with little pre-wrapped sausages and things. They have pre-wrapped sausages, but they don't have pre-wrapped bacon.
Well, can you blame them?
Yeah.